All right, we're 24 hours from baby Garber. Scott Garber in Colorado, you are up. This is your last Legend series, not being a dad. So
it's the last Legend series that I have the floor to ask a question. I think that's the more appropriate way to put it. Stephanie, this has just been incredible. I don't even know that I have as much a question as just a thank you for your meticulous attention to detail and just pure candor around the situations. I think, trauma is something that we all experience, growing up. And we're not immune to it. I think it's not one size fits all. And I think it's just normalizing and breaking the stigma of having these conversations to break the barrier and actually there's light at the end of the tunnel, right? And I think that, trying to put these guardrails up and keep us immune. Sorry, my mom is blowing me up with this baby coming. But so not as much a question as it is just a statement of it's really neat to see the pioneers of industry just sort of molding it the way that you are. And so just wanted to thank you. And, we run a podcast, would love to have you on there. I tapped into what you and the Pause Man were doing. So just wanted to thank you for the awesome work you're doing and excited to continue to get to know you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate it. When Devin came, when my oldest daughter came to me, I was sitting on the couch and she's like, Mom, this post came out. I want you to do one that's kind of similar. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh God, I don't know. I don't know if the world's ready. I mean, I talk about it a lot in bits and pieces on podcasts, but to kind of go through the entire thing, it was fun.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah.
And I guess I do have a question. When you're being blunt, right? And you work in a line of, industry. I mean, I was just calling out your tone, right? Even just based on each question was the inflection is so different. How do you keep sort of church and state? I know you had the question earlier about, parenting and how do you teach those lessons, but compartmentalizing or dealing with trauma at such a scale and then bringing it back down to a 9-year-old or a 4-year-old or an infant level, what is if you had a piece of advice or tip as I'm sort of dipping my toes in the deep end right now, what would you send down this way?
So actually, right before this, I did a podcast with Robin Dreek. I don't know if you guys know who Robin is. He's phenomenal. He was a behavioralist. His job was recruiting spies for the FBI. That was his job. And I just actually did it. It's coming out in 2 weeks. And he asked me this question. He said, Stephanie, he's like, I've watched so many different interviews and I've read so many articles. He's like, when you speak, he's like, your voice kind of goes with every single different situation. Here's the thing. Okay. My job is to gather as much honesty and truth from my clients as I possibly can. They are not going to share with me if they feel like they're going to get berated or if they feel like they're going to be judged or if they feel such a deep amount of shame within themselves. So you said it very amazing. The very first sentence you said. So my job is to create normalcy. My job is to create commonality. My job is to let them know, you want the list of the bad things I've done? You're not different. Okay. You're the same as everybody else who's done something bad, but let's get you to the best measurement of your success. So what is that going to look like? So I really do try. And, the thing is with communication, with your neurolinguistic processing, okay, people become de-escalated in different ways. So for example, sometimes people get de-escalated with touch. So if you have a crazy maniac quarterback going completely insane because there's just been video, blah, 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 blah. And you go over this giant man and you grab their hands and you hold them and go, I'm right here. I'm right. They'll bring it down. I'm a woman. I'm smaller. They'll bring it down. But there's also the CEOs that are multi-billionaires that are screaming and acting like maniacs that you have to scream as well. You have to match their level of crazy. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And I'm not going to say that it doesn't. So you have to really kind of mirror where they are. You have to meet them where they are emotionally because they're trying to regulate and they're not able to get there. Being really attuned with yourself and going, I have to stay as still as I possibly can and come outside of myself. Sometimes like I said, my daughter, unfortunately, both fortunately and unfortunately has been a part of this. If I start acting crazy, what's the benefit of me? If I start being oh God, I don't know what we're going to do here. This is that's not going to make anybody feel contained and held. That's not going to make anybody. So it doesn't matter what I'm feeling. It only matters how they're feeling. And if I can regulate me to calm them down, then that's when you have a true asset on your team.
Boom. Thank you so much.
Boom.
Yeah, sure.
All right.